Hello everyone, and now welcome to a 1v1 match with two of the best random players in the world, Infi versus Tho. Infi, well, spawning as the red Night Elf on the bottom left hand side of the map, getting Night Elf, and will be going up against Tho, who also randomly randomed into Night Elf as well. I don't believe this is on all the random map. I don't see that yet. I'll go ahead and keep track of the strategies, but it is important to note this game taking place here on Northern Isle. Now, this is a definite matchup that I do want to see. How great is this game going to be? All right, opening things up, Ancient of War being positioned close to that green creep camp. Nothing too big of a surprise here as I try to go into deep analysis mode to figure out what these players are trying to do. Now, first things first is they're going to try and develop their own personal strategy, perhaps try and get their hero to level 2, and then start to worry and start to develop a counter strategy. Both sides going for Keeper of the Grove is no surprise in this instance, as the Keeper of the Grove has really turned into what people are saying is a tempo-based hero. That Keeper of the Grove early on in the match is able to establish expansions, able to creep effectively, and at level 3, you are able to do a bit of harassment with that level 2 Entangle or level 2 Treants. On the flip side, it also allows the army of the Night Elf to then move back with those units and then try and level up their second hero, whether it be a Demon Hunter, a Panda, or some other non-meta sort of style and play. Keeping a close look on things here, Infi and Tho are going to be trying to scout each other out. You can see that the Ancient of War off over here actually going after the 5-4-4 creep camp. So Tho is being a bit more aggressive in his creeping, while Infi is only going after a 3-3-3 creep camp. After all of that is said and done, Treants are going to end up getting cleaned up here. One Wisp needs to go into overtime to try and repair, keep things alive and well for that Ancient of War, as that one particular Treant still trying to whack up some of that damage. Scroll of the Beast is the item dropped here. It is very powerful and some sort of tier 2 push, since it does give a very strong damage boost, but tends to not be so strong straight out of the gate, as there isn't that large of an army for it to be used alongside with. Infi continuing to now clear out some easy green creep camps, Tho doing a similar strategy as well. Both sides are going to be getting up to level, or getting to level 2 here in just a second. Wait for it. There you are, and it is going to be entangled. Most likely, I would be absolutely dumbfounded if it was Thorns Aura, at least this early in the game. Thorns Aura may come into play a little bit later, as bears do, well, reflect back a lot of melee damage. All right, units getting taken down pretty quickly and easily. Keeper of the Grove picking up a Wand of Mana Stealing. That is actually a little bit better in terms of tempo play right now. Being able to take away some mana from your opponent while giving yourself mana could open up the gates just a little bit more. We'll see what the timing of all of this is going to be, and whether or not Infi or Tho gets to level 3 first. Tech to tier 2 well underway for Tho. Meanwhile, Infi should be showing a pretty similar strategy as well, as the Keeper of the Grove, has moved his Wand of Mana Stealing to that number 1 item slot. Easier to use, and double and click and try and just maximize everything there. Lightning Shield on a Treant. That Treant is dealing quite a bit of damage across multiple units here while absorbing a lot of damage, and looks like it could end up getting taken down. Did it end up getting the kill there? I'm not 100% sure, but the 4 Ice Troll Priests should end up being destroyed. There is level 3 already on Tho, as he could be making his way back down. Infi is setting up an expansion behind this, and there is already a lot. No, that's an Ancient of Wonders. A Tree of Life should be set up by Tho as well, and we could be getting into a longer economic game if both sides are trying to set up those Trees of Life. Here's the question. Is anyone able to put pressure on the other here, as the Keeper of the Groves are going to go ahead and battle forth against each other? Wand of Mana stealing. There's an entangle right there, taking a little bit of that precious mana, as the Keeper of the Grove now looking to retreat back. Level 2 entangle does deal quite a bit of damage. Is it going to finish off this archer? No, it's not. Detonation for the save there. There's another Wand of Mana stealing use right there, but the problem was that Infi was low on mana at the start. A quick detonation taking down those treants, as the archers are all battling it up. Wisp incredibly important at trying to detonate and take down treants here, as the army of Infi is just far too large and able to put in pressure. The Keeper of the Grove here now, well, grabbing up an Alchemist as that second follow-up hero, and there is an Acid Bomb to try and add up a little bit more damage. Acid Bomb, that's, well, an also common hero coming alongside Healing Spray, as both sides are going to try and, well, deal damage to each other while dishing out damage in the middle of the battle, or in the middle of the battlefield. Hello, Burrow Rush, how you doing? All right, there is a little bit more Healing Spray units now continuing to move back off to the north again, as we're looking at level 3, level 1 Alchemist going up against level 3, level 1 Alchemist. All right, Alchemist and Keeper of the Grove still represent a good amount of danger to any budding Tree of Life expansion, but I don't think that, well, Tho is actually going to get very far here. The Tree of Life is already nearly done, and now it's just going to become entangling of the gold mine. It could be a little bit of a pressure play, though, knowing that as long as I'm putting in a little bit of pressure on your expansion, you're not going to be putting any pressure on mine. All right, Mass Archer still getting used up here. Entangle is now going down. Entangle does reveal that Archer. Archer will get, well, strangled and pelted to death with arrows, as the units are still trying to retreat back. Keeper of the Grove is low on mana. Does have a Scroll of the Beast. There's a quick reveal right there, trying to see if there's any additional units hidden in the night, and nope, all of those units were properly backed away. For the 3 people, I think 3 people recently bought Crota hoodies. Thank you. I get just a little bit of a shout out. Thank you for supporting the channel. Every little bit does definitely help. If you guys want, I didn't even realize that my merch was still available, but if you guys do want new merchandise, let me know. If there are shirts or anything, I know, just show support for Warcraft 3 and my channel wherever you can. Well, I just want to say thank you. Pretty much every dollar has gone back into just paying for my absurdly high internet bill and being able to communicate with you guys when you guys reach out. So anyways, let's go ahead and break down. Keeper of the Grove, Alchemist continuing to make their way. That is a lot of archers in the center. Acid Bomb is now available for both sides alongside Healing Spray, as both Alchemists are sitting at level 2. We are pretty even throughout this matchup, and we are only staying at Tree of Ages. Nope, going to Tree of Eternity for Tho, as the engagement now getting underway. There goes an entangle onto the Null Overseer. Damage onto some archers. Acid Bomb removing some of that precious armor. As we can see, all of those archers are trying to head back away. Entangle coming back to the other side again. Alchemist now showing up to the party. Keeper of the Grove seeing that level 3. There goes another Acid Bomb here. Healing Spray trying to get counteracted by Acid Bomb, as both sides losing quite a bit. Lightning Shield now on Tho, and that large Alchemist dealing massive damage across the board, and now trying to counteract that Healing Spray once again. Level 4 now onto the Keeper of the Grove there, as we could see some more deaths there. There goes another Archer. Another Archer going to get taken down once more. Staff of Preservation saves a unit there, as the units are still trying to engage. Keeper of the Grove still looks to be getting in a couple of fights once more. No more Lightning Shield, as the Keeper of the Grove down to 94 hit points, may be forced to try and retreat, as he escapes away at 84 hit points here. Clarity Potion is used. Acid Bomb, is it going to try and, well, throw anything at that Keeper of the Grove? Not quite yet, as the entangling gold mines are now both under full saturations. Only a 20-second difference between these two gold mines after all is said and done, as Vampiric Aura dropped for Infi. Most likely, well, we may see a transition into Bears with that Vampiric Aura, as we are going into Tree of Ages now for Infi. Level 3 on Infi's Alchemist. Units are looking to retreat back. Keeper of the Grove looking to get some damage here, and also using a Goblin Shredder to try and clear things up, getting a little bit of damage before retreating it back home as well. Ancient of Wonders even joining in on the battle. Treants absorbing quite a bit of damage too. And, well, what is going to end up going down, though? Down to 52 hit points on that Goblin Shredder. Well, may need to repair that in just a little bit, as, well, those Goblin Shredders are definitely worth trying to focus down, especially with their heavy armor, making them vulnerable to most attacks. Or giving them no resistance to any attacks, I guess is the better saying. Now, as we are, well, positioning ourselves, though, actually sitting on a very small army, 31 over 80 supply. That is rather small, and now we are going to dual Ancient of Lores and an Ancient of Wind. Major battle now happening over here on the expansion side. Ancient of Lore trying to be placed down by Infi as a little bit of a proxy, being able to absorb some damage here. Keeper of the Grove wants to dive on in here. Repairs may be necessary, as the archers with their piercing damage can't really rack up that much damage at all. All right, Orb of Venom is already on the Keeper of the Grove, so that damage is going to add up slowly but surely as we go into a Pit Lord third. All right, Pit Lord as that third and final hero for Tho, as Cleave should be, Rain of Fire should be able to offset and move those archers around the map fairly consistently. Tho does have Rain of Fire. There it goes, getting some damage across all of those units. Those units are being forced to move away as they're continuing to fight back and forth. All right, Healing Spray trying to counteract as the Keeper of the Grove does get up to level 4. Level 2 Healing Spray counteracting that level 1 Rain of Fire fairly well. Infi still pushing in with just the right amount of pressure. Moonwell is going to get taken down, 42 supply compared to 45. More Healing Spray to try and keep these units alive, and as well as the Alchemist now joins in on the battle too. Keeper of the Grove ready to dive on in. Alchemist coming back across. We're looking at Devotion, or are we going to see some more Rain of Fire, perhaps giving level 3 to the Alchemist? Yes, level 3 now on the Alchemist of Tho, as he gets level 2 Healing Spray as well. Pit Lord apparently not wanting that bath of rejuvenating water, well, temporarily walks away from it for just a moment. Back off to the north, we are now going into Mountain Giants. We are going into Adept training. We are going into Resistant Skin and Hardened Skin for those Mountain Giants to absorb quite a bit of damage. In comes some damage. Rain of Fire as well. That Keeper of the Grove, Potion of Invulnerability to shake off some of that damage, as the Mountain Giant is now going to be in that frontline position, being able to taunt and perhaps draw some of that necessary aggro. So also going into Fairy Dragons as well. So we are seeing a wide combination and array of units from Tho, going for Mountain Giants, Fairy Dragons, well, Druids of the Claw as well, and now getting Druids of the Talon. So that negative armor debuff with Fairy Fire could also potentially become a big problem.
Players' forces are under attack.
With that said, though, Keeper of the Grove and Alchemist looking to get a little bit of additional creeping out across the board, and should be able to clean things up. Priestess of the Moon is the third and final hero for Infi, as the Priestess of the Moon is generally a stronger hero for the combination. Thank you, Burrow Rush, for the sub. Thank you. As we're looking at the Priestess of the Moon, well, going to be a very, very strong hero indeed. I am surprised that we aren't looking at multiple orbs of venom on the Priestess of the Moon as well. That Priestess of the Moon currently getting plus 10 damage, and with an orb of venom as well, should be able to rack up even more damage too. Add in Roar, as that Roar is just going to increase that damage overall. The Priestess of the Moon already at plus 17 damage, and that is before True Shot Aura giving in a bonus damage, and still a lot of item slots to go. Keeper of the Grove will stay at 4, Alchemist will stay at 3, Pit Lord will stay at 2, but good items could be dropped in this scenario and situation. What was dropped here? War Song Battle Drums, a very, very nice item indeed, giving a good damage bonus across the board. All right. Did Priestess of the Moon get another? Yeah, Priestess of the Moon got another Claws of Attack, and this Priestess of the Moon currently has plus 30 damage without Roar. Each attack almost acting as like a critical strike, as Rain of Fire finding some easy targets here against all of these, well, Moonwells clumped together. All right, Goblin Sapper coming in as well. What is the Priestess of the Moon going to try and do? You can see that the damage racking up from that Priestess of the Moon will eat through very, very quickly, and we're not even really looking at Roar as of yet. Orb of Venom, that Fairy Dragon's not going to stand a chance, as even with 17 armor, will end up getting taken down. All right, Staff of Preservation trying to save some units. Priest of the Moon still chasing back off to the north here. Entangle onto the Mountain Giant. One bear should have gotten in front of the Mountain Giant, though, to try and cut off any sort of retreats. There's a rejuvenation as well, but trying to rejuvenate a Mountain Giant's hit points, well, is like trying to fill a swimming pool with a bucket. It just takes so many rejuvenations to clear up those 1600 hit points. Hello, Dust Wallow Dweller. Coming back around, units continuing to retreat back here. It looks like Infi has the better synergy, even though Tho has the larger army. We're going to go into an engagement here, and here we are. Archers are going to be belting around. Where is that Roar? There's that Roar, as the Priestess of the Moon up to plus 37 damage. And now, well, nope, this is Druids of the Talon for Cyclone, picking up bears and neutralizing them on the spot. Tho could be in some serious trouble. Pit Lord gets taken down, though. There's a Roar right there, as the Alchemist now gets up to level 4. Keeper of the Grove and Alchemist both sitting at level 4. Now level 5 on that Keeper of the Grove. More entangles could be coming underway, as those Cyclones are neutralizing some of those bears and taking them out of the fight. Though able to shut down a couple of bears, but is that enough here, as more bears and units are going to be coming back over? Oh, right, very, very low hit point. Druid of the Claw needs to be backed away. There's a rejuvenation already. There's a Roar continuing to engage in this battle here, as this Mountain Giant still trying to get healed back up. Infi now even purposely rejuvenating his own units in the middle of the battle, and this could be a very, very dangerous proposition, as that low hit point bear needs to retreat back 1 or 2 more shots, and he will get taken down. No, rejuvenation still in order, as the units are trying to retreat back. Are any other units going to get taken down? No, they are not. Though coming out smelling like a rose in that battle there, as we see an expansion attempt off to the north. Beautiful battle between Tho and Infi, going back and forth. The sudden appearance of the Druids of the Talon and how they were kept under wraps off of a single Ancient of Wind. Originally, normally it is very, very difficult to try and train up Ancient of Winds or train up Druids of the Talon to Cyclone off of a single Ancient of Wind. You need the upgrades. And you also saw that there were fairy dragons in the mix as well. So my bad for not keeping track of the Druids of the Talon being able to neutralize a handful of Druids of the Claw right at the start of that fight there. 75 supply compared to 69. And now how is Infi going to respond? Priestess of the Moon still looking incredibly strong here, as we are now transitioning more into Druids of the Claw. The Priestess of the Moon's damage is, well, damage aura is not going to be nearly as powerful. Also, Wand of Lightning Shield could be very big news indeed, but it doesn't look like it's going to end up being picked up at all. Owl Scout doing what it does best, being an being an owl, just keeping track of all of these units here and keeping tabs on those units is just incredibly important. Priestess of the Moon still wants to get to level 3, and we're looking at that Priestess of the Moon with that plus 30 damage and that Orb of Venom. So dual Orb of Venom on those ranged heroes. Meanwhile, the Pit Lord, well, there was quick destruction there, as a couple of treants get purged into nothing, or not purged, abolished magic into nothing in a moment's notice. Scouts still keeping track of everything here. Keeper of the Grove may try and find a low hit point Druid of the Talon, and here we are going off into an engagement now. Straight off of the fight here, Bear's going to try and engage against each other. Both sides have Roar, a 3-2 upgrade going up against 1-1 upgrades. Rain of Fire now raining down across multiple units. Staff of Preservation saves one unit, but is there going to be enough time for another? It does not look like. Tho has, or Infi has more than one Staff of Preservations. Meanwhile, Tho has a plethora of charges ready to go, as Infi is going to start losing some units here if he's not careful. Low hit point Druid of the Claw finally getting taken down. Healing Spray not enough to absorb back that damage. Tho now sitting at level 5, but still Infi has the hero level advantage on 5, 4, 2, almost level 3 on that Priestess of the Moon. Getting the level 3 on that Priestess of the Moon now. Level 2 True Shot Aura continuing to pelt out that damage. So many low hit point units for Tho, as both sides are just suffering heavy, severe casualties. 75 supply compared to 68. Who's going to come out better in this fight? That is the ultimate question here, as the Pit Lord still staying at level 2, not yet quite at level 3. All right, fighting underway still on multiple sides. Alchemist falls at level 4, as the Pit Lord gets up to level, or Pit Lord gets Staff of Preservation out. and then Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat. One Druid of the Claw apparently didn't get the memo that the fight was done and was still part of the control group, walked on over, and pretty much just fell instantly down. All right, a couple of Druids of the Claw very low on hit points, 5 hit points on that Druid of the Claw. We need to see some more rejuvenations on that Mountain Giant as well. As I said, trying to heal up Mountain Giants with rejuvenation is trying to fill up a swimming pool with a bucket. Even if it's a kiddie swimming pool, it does take quite a few passes before it is finally done. How am I keeping tabs on everything? Well, years and years and years of experience, and trying to talk about it in a clear, coherent manner. But thank you. I'll consider. I don't know. Sarcasm is hard to express over the internet. If you are being sarcastic, well, I'm just taking that as a true compliment. Coming back around, Infi now pushing in with, well, why rejuvenation on the Druid of the Claw should really just transform into a bear here while dishing out a little bit more damage. Perhaps wants a bit more mana as the Druid of the Claw is still coming off with a bit of roars. We're going to be going into a base trade scenario, coming back down, and it looks as though off to the north here, that Tree of Life will end up getting detected down. All right, surrounded here. This could potentially be problems. Cyclones coming back in on around the units. Mountain Giants trying to engage back here as the Keeper of the Grove continue to put in pressure. Cyclone on the Priestess of the Moon takes him out as Tho now tries to retreat back out. The Tree of Life just simply too far to destroy. Infi sitting at 80 supply compared to Tho's 78. We are still neck and neck in terms of the fight overall. A new expansion attempt now trying to rebuild. No, it's... Well, thank you. Trying to keep track of everything and people making fun of things. Well, people noticing, hey, you need to do a better job keeping track of things, which is true. It's just like get good, right? Like trying to keep track of everything. You need to speak more clearly. You need to keep tabs on all the bases. You need to look at the mini map more. There's so much that goes into a good solo cast, as oftentimes co-casters are able to shore up their differences and shore up the problems that each other may have, especially if they get tunnel visioned into a specific fight at any given time. Coming back, well, also trying to like monitor and motion to keep track of the camera, right? Like being able to look at the action and present it in a way that actually makes sense and without too much juddering and jittering. All right, coming back around 77 compared to 79. Bears are actually in the backfield for Infi. That's going to be a little bit of bad news as they are unable to get within range. However, Tho is backed up into a bit of a corner here as they're trying to fight their way through. Rain of Fire going to be coming down, and here we are coming across all of those bears in that backside as Tho may end up losing a handful of bears here. Still, triple staff of preservation for Tho compared to Infi's duel, but that Priestess of the Moon still with plus 40 damage, able to rack up large amounts of damage, but going after the Mountain Giants instead of changing up against those easier targets that try and take down. Infi continuing the pressure, 64 supply compared to 74. Infi looks like he's winning out on this fight as he's forcing Tho to use that Scroll of Town Portal. Priestess of the Moon able to slowly chip away, and that dual orb of venom may be the difference here as the Keeper of the Grove of Infi inching closer to level 6. Once level 6 is reached, you better believe that Tho needs to make sure that his Keeper of the Grove always has mana available to shut down Tranquility. If Tranquility is effectively cast during a battle, that is going to be bad news. Even outside of a battle, Tranquility is perhaps one of the best ultimate abilities, as it is both useful in and out of combat, as you just translate time into mana and then mana into hit points. All right, we're going to go into this next fight here. Well, Tree of Life trying to be built, and we're going to be going into engagement. Keeper of the Grove now needs to try to back up Devotion, or is it going to be enough? 70 supply compared to 74, 63 supply army compared to 55. Both sides battling it through. All right, in comes a couple of heals. Bears are coming in from the side to try and rack in a little bit of damage. There's a Rain of Fire across those units there. No entangle there as the Keeper of the Grove continuing to fight back. All right, level 4 Alchemist uses the potion of invulnerability and then backs away from the fight here. This could be extremely bad news as the Pit Lord gets taken down. Double level up. Level 6 Keeper of the Grove. We could be looking at Tranquility, but then Tho still has plenty of mana to try and shut Infi's down here. All right, continuing to fight their way through. Infi continuing just summing up more treants, and now finally gets the Tranquility off, and there is the heal there, and that is gonna be the game. Infi is victorious. Tho has left the game a very, very close back and forth battle until a tipping point was reached. Infi using the Priestess of the Moon very effectively, and very, very effectively there. And also, I am surprised that the Vampiric Aura for those Scourge Bone Chimes really did make a big difference in the end, inching out a little bit of additional hit points every so often. In the end, it wasn't able to overcome the Devotion Aura, and ultimately getting a little bit of that hero level advantage. Higher level Acid Bomb and Healing Spray was enough to start tipping things in favor, and eventually the True Shot Aura and that damage over time from Infi's dual Orb of Venom really added more damage than the single Orb of Venom coming in from Tho. Finally, the triple Staff of Preservations wasn't enough, as Tho also lost a handful of units pretty often for units that were just trying to be rallied back. Here are the final scores. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.